Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're here to talk about my least favorite Spider-Man film in the entire franchise, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Of course, this is the sequel to The Amazing Spider-Man, the film we talked about last time, my most underrated and one of my favorite Spider-Man flicks. So this one is not only a bad movie, but for me, it was truly disappointing. It just missed all the marks it could have hit. Mark Webb, one of the best named Spider-Man directors out there, returns to direct this one with Andrew Garfield stepping back into Spider-Man's shoes, Emma Stone coming back as Gwen, Sally Field coming back as Aunt May. In this one, you get some additions like Dane DeHaan as Harry Osborn, and he is one of the big things that do not work for me. They just rushed this Osborn thing really badly, mostly because they wanted to set up a Sinister Six film, and it just did not work at all. It was way too rushed. He comes in, he doesn't really have the greatest chemistry with Andrew Garfield when they're supposed to be like best buds from back in the day. The chemistry is not really there. And then in the end of the movie, when he just kind of turns into Green Goblin for like the last 5 minutes of the film for not really any apparent reason. It was just kind of a rushed, botched attempt to get to a Sinister Six, and also a part of that failed, just terrible poopy objective was Paul Giamatti coming into this film as Alexei, aka the Rhino. The film opens with him just being a mobster trying to shoot Spider-Man, and it does have it's like a very cool fight scene. It's slow-mo with Spider-Man dodging bullets, and then he takes him out. That should have been it right there, because he was already pretty terrible. But then he comes back at the end of the film in the Rhino suit made by Oscorp, and just... oh, it's so awful. Hello, Spidey. That's kind of what he sounds like in the film, and it's atrocious, it's awful, and it should never have been on the big screen. And then speaking of terrible villains, of course, this film also has Jamie Foxx as Electro, and he's almost as bad as Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. He's got isn't it shocking, Spider-Man? Puns like that, and it's just atrocious. This film has by far the worst villains in the entire Spider-Man franchise. They thought that Spider-Man 3's what's his face, Venom, Eric Foreman, what's his name, you thought he was bad. This film just takes that to a whole nother level. At least he was trying. He didn't do a good job, but he was trying to be good. These ones are just horrendous, and the script itself is horrendous, but that's not all Mark Webb and the writer's fault. This film was very much muddled and messed with by Sony in an attempt to build out their cinematic universe to keep up with the ever-growing MCU at the time. This was back in the original Guardians of the Galaxy days. They wanted to do a Sinister Six film. In my review for the first Amazing Spider-Man, I said the big thing that didn't work for me was the stuff with Peter's parents, how they weren't really secret agents, but they were in a lot of top secret stuff. This film doubles down on that, even triples down on it. You see all this different stuff. They have an underground bunker in this railroad. I don't know what they were thinking with this film. Oh, that's right. They weren't thinking. They just wanted to make money and shit on everything Spider-Man fans like. They wanted to do a secret agent Aunt May movie after this, tying her into their parents' stuff. It was just, that was terrible. The villains are horrible, just freaking atrocious. Oh my god. Jamie Foxx is coming back as Electro, but it looks like he's actually Electro. He's got the comic accurate look. He doesn't look goofy, balding, his hairline's all fixed and nice. It looks like actual Electro, not this goofy doofball that just ugh. Thank God for Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, because their chemistry in this movie is once again off the charts, just like it was in the first one, and it's the only thing that works in this film. Their relationship is strained, of course, because with the promise Peter made with Gwen's father in the first film, it really puts a strain on their relationships, so they're on again, off again. They do a Rachel and Ross type thing in this movie. And at the end, they do end up together, and then, of course, everyone knows what happens at the end of this movie, the infamous Gwen Stacy falling. They don't do it off a bridge, though. This time it's a clock tower. It's a little different from the comics, to where you don't know if it was Spider-Man's web that killed her in the comics, or if she was already dead in the comics. This one, she was very much alive, and then cracked her skull because Spider-Man was just too late saving her, making it ever more obvious that the big theme of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is loss, and I think that we will see more of that in Spider-Man No Way Home. But this film is truly quite bad, other than the Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone performances. Everything outside of those two is pretty bad. The setting up too much for a Sinister Six, the shitty at best villains, the terrible stuff with Peter's parents, everything except Andrew and Emma was pretty damn bad in my opinion. Definitely my least favorite Spider-Man movie, but I will say the fight scenes, even with the terrible villains, still do look pretty freaking sweet. I'll give them that. I will give them that. The Amazing Spider-Man 2, my least favorite Spider-Man film, gets a 4 out of 10. 2 points each. For Andrew gets 2 points and Emma gets 2 points. And that's all this film gets from me. I hope Andrew gets some redemption in Spider-Man No Way Home. And I hope maybe somewhere down the line, because of the multiverse, we get Amazing Spider-Man 3 and we get some redemption, because the first one's so freaking good, but everyone taints it and lumps it in with this second one, which is just truly awful. And it's just such a bummer of a movie. Next time, though, we're going to be talking about my favorite Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Homecoming. So make sure you guys come back for that video and comment down below with what you thought of this one. Do you hate it as much as I do, or do you actually love this? Is this your favorite film in the entire freaking franchise? Let me know down in the comments below. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe to the channel, because we got to keep growing this channel out. I see multiple other people's channels going crazy right now, and mine's just kind of stagnant, which just isn't fair, man. Just isn't fair. So let's get those numbers up. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys right here next time.